Hi, guys. Welcome to Parawomenradio. I'm Amy. How's everyone doing tonight? Tonight, we delve deeper into the polarizing Gypsy Rose Blanchard case. We like to get a little more soulful on Sundays over here at the Power Network. What messages is DeeDee Blanchard sending from beyond the grave? Is she expressing anger towards Gypsy Rose? Is she feeling fear, sadness, or frustration? Or perhaps she is silently rooting for Gypsy as she helps her orchestrate their most audacious scheme yet. Who knows? But let's try to find out tonight. So, join us as we uncover the truth in this gripping episode of Highly Strange Daze. While we wait for the rest of the crew to roll in, I'm going to roll some credits. Shout out to my Power Replay crew.
I will whisper to the moon and to the stars and the clouds, and you'll know.
Miserable money. Yes, a miserable human being. And would I want that lifestyle of arguing and fussing and fighting and having everyone report if I pooed for the day or not? No, no, no. I've thought about it, and I'm going through a huge money struggle right now. I'm going through what they call the darkness of the soul. I am figuring this shit out at a very old age, but I'm figuring it out. And I know that I wouldn't take millions and millions of dollars for what she has. I just wouldn't. Would you guys? Like, seriously think about it in your heart of hearts. Don't like reply like right away, but just think about it. Would you want all that attention and all that? Like, it's not even celebrity, it's infamy. Would you want all that infamy? So this one is an intuitive reading, and this is by Belle, very small channel, but there's 1,008K views on it. So and it was 7 months ago. So, and she calls it a safe space, and I like that. I like when creators feel like their channel they need to protect for the viewers, like keep it a safe space for them. I
Yeah,
feel that obligation to my subscribers and my dragonflies, and yeah, I just feel like it's my obligation to keep it safe for them because they are putting their support towards me. I need to do something back for them. So
yeah, that's great, Amy. That's awesome.
yeah, yeah. And it's not that I think I'm bigger or better than other people. It's just how I want to run my channel. I know I'm not better
Hello,
than anyone else.
everybody. Welcome to Empathic Insights. Welcome to your safe space. My name is Belle, and today we're going to be looking at Claudine DeeDee Blanchard. If you've been on any social media platform recently, you'll know who this is to an extent. More so, her daughter Gypsy Rose, who was just released from prison 2 days ago for having served for basically plotting to kill her own.
I'm curious because this was 8 months ago. I'm very curious to know. I haven't watched. I just peeked at the little bit of every first part of all these videos, and I'm very curious to see if she is in her stand phase or if she never was in a stand phase. And yeah, what do you guys? What do you think? What do you think we're about to hear? Stand or not? Because it's a karmic balancing act. So I think maybe
I think so. I think she is.
you think she is.
Yeah.
So I think it was murder in the second degree. So for those of you that
So
are
she does think it was murder in the second degree. So
new, I'm glad that you're here. Welcome back to anybody that's not new. But I just wanted to mention a quick things before I start. So I'm obviously an empath. I can tune into people's feelings very well.
and
So that would
Shannon
be the
and I are
perfect.
actually looking for some empaths and psychics and tarot readers. Doesn't necessarily have to be the Gypsy Rose case, but yeah, we're interested in having you on the Highly Strange Days. If you're interested, be sure to email us.
Absolutely.
I'm fascinated by people's actions, how they were feeling to make those actions, especially ones that hurt others. So in this case, this would be the perfect example. So I'm going to do a little brief recap of what I know so that you know basically what I know. And really, I go into these readings with little to no information. I do that on purpose. But in case anybody is new and does not know who Claudine or Dee Dee is, I'll give some insight here in just a moment. So again, that's just the purpose, is really to try to understand this person, what this person was feeling, to do something like what she did. And so no hateration here, please. No, nothing like that. Again, this is a safe space for everybody. And I just want to understand in a compassionate and empathetic way. I just want to understand her. So no bashing, no hatred. We'll leave all that, no judgment. Leave all that somewhere else. And yeah. And the second thing is, I usually, as you can see here, I usually print off pictures, black and white. So don't come for me for those pictures. But it really helps me tune into their energy. So that's why I have usually a picture, but for her, I actually have 3. So
Well, we would love, I'm very curious now what the case is. Cindy Hobbs says, I have a case of love I'd love you to look at that I was very involved in here locally. Yeah, please
Ooh.
email us. I just shot up the email right here. You can email us here at pwrliveinfo@gmail.com and or Parawomenradio. The women is plural at gmail.com.
yeah, if you're ready, let's get into it. Let me
I'm
first start
ready.
by telling you what I do know. If you are sensitive to this sort of topic, then I suggest you fast forward to the actual part where I'm channeling her energy, or just skip the video altogether. Again, if you're sensitive. So Claudine Blanchard was born May 5th, 1967. Yeah, what that other charity is that they sent them to, like, Disneyland or Disney World. I don't
Yeah,
know.
she's not a stan. She's pretty irritated by all the grifting, I can tell.
Other charities along those lines where they received a lot of things because of Gypsy Rose's alleged conditions. So again, she had multiple procedures done, even a feeding tube at one point in her stomach, and so doctors fear of being caught for fear of going to jail. I feel like outwardly she's very nice, charismatic, compassionate. She seemed very sweet. She seemed very nurturing to others, around her that didn't know her behind closed doors. I also get the feeling that, I don't know why it's coming this way, so I apologize, but it's almost like there's a bit of depression that I'm picking up on, and the inability to kind of want to do better for
I
herself.
feel like there was a huge depression at the end because she made her, like, appearance wise, a drastic change in the last few years, but she was very sick in the last few years.
She was really
There
sick for reals?
For real sick. There was this, is this what it was? Let me see. Let me play this and I'll look for what I'm talking about.
So instead of, let's say, for example, she's depressed and she's looking at her finances, for example, and she's like, I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills. I don't know how we're going to get ahead. Instead of trying to fix that for herself and maybe getting a job, she wanted to take basically the lazy way out and not do anything and just have things done for her to resolve themselves via her daughter. So it's almost like this laziness of, I want to be better, or I want to be in a better position, but I don't want to go out and have to work for it. So I'm just going to.
This is what I'm talking about.
This is a message that Gypsy posted on her Facebook page. It is dated January the 19th of 2014. Getting ready to be admitted to the hospital. Sweet Nona is going to take care of Gyp while I am there. Please keep us both in y'all's prayers. This is the first time we don't sleep in the same bed. Thanks. We love y'all. So when I saw this, I was like, if her story is true, that unaliving her mother was the only option, then how was it that she could not have run away whenever her mother was in the hospital in January of 2014? An entire year prior to her mother being unalived, Dee Dee was in the hospital, apparently overnight. So if she really wanted to run away, this would have been the perfect opportunity for her to do so, and for her mother not to be notified until she got home from the hospital, and boom, she would not have been able to find her because she would have been gone for days before Dee Dee got out of the hospital. So to everyone who continues to say that she had no other option, yes, she did. And there continues to be more and more proof every day that she had other options. This narrative about her being so scared of her mother that murder was the only option when she.
Yeah. So she stayed, Dee Dee was gone and she didn't leave. I don't know. I get cheesed about this case because who in their right mind would support her and give her money? Who in their right mind would give somebody like who is already a millionaire? And in my mind, I'm thinking about Jeffree Star and how people go over on TikTok and millionaires go live and you just throw money at them and they're not even creating anything. As a content creator, it breaks my heart that people are doing that. And it also breaks my heart that people are grifting and doing that to other people. Like I couldn't take people's money like that, that, that I didn't feel like I was putting something out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I'm personally myself, I'm disabled and I'm in the middle of trying to go from short-term disability to long-term, and they've just been dragging their heels. And I think about, I look at that and I think, these people had nothing wrong with them and they got all this money and all this help. And I have to struggle to get help. And I don't understand. I don't understand how they did it.
Yeah, I don't understand. It's like I've thought about it a lot and it has to be something karmic related. And either she is really dipping into some karma or some karma's coming back for her in a positive way. I don't know.
Do much work. Next picture. Let me put these here. So this one, she's a little older and she doesn't have Gypsy, as you can see. She doesn't have Gypsy Rose with her.
Back on my BS. I'm so glad you made it out alive.
Yes.
And here I feel like it's almost like I'm tired of this facade, of this mask that I'm wearing. I'm, because Gypsy Rose may have been receiving a lot of attention and even having to go to all her medical visits and all that stuff. It's almost like I'm tired of pretending I'm this happy, bubbly person. Like I just want to be at home. It's almost like she doesn't want to do it anymore. Not because she feels necessarily bad, but just because she doesn't want to, she just doesn't want to have to play nice when she's, out and about. One of the things I do want to mention is
Big Daddy Bug is in the house. How are you doing? I think you had a birthday or something. No, you keep talking about the birthday. Never mind. Sorry, I was going to wish you a happy birthday, but I know that's in July now. Never mind.
There's this book called Soul Speak.
I had a good birthday, I think.
So I've taken courses on QHHT, which is a form of hypnotherapy, regressive hypnotherapy, and the founder, Dolores Cannon, also taught her methods to her daughter, Julia Cannon, and Julia wrote a book, or basically gathered all the information for the book through her own sessions. And really the book is about, or the book is what your body is trying to tell you. So it lists a lot of different ailments, a lot of different things that one might experience, and basically the cause.
Back on my BS, if you're ever wanting to come on the show and talk about your experiences, I would be very interested in hearing them. You can feel free to email us if you don't want to. I totally get it. I understand.
Of them, or what your body is really trying to tell you, what lessons are there in those ailments, illnesses, so that you can basically learn from and basically get rid of them. So one of the things, which obviously hits home because I've, been overweight my whole life, but I noticed that Dee Dee is progressively, gaining weight a little bit bigger in each picture that I have. And so the thing that Soul Speak says about being overweight or being obese is that you want love, but you're afraid to basically open yourself up to it, to receiving it.
A lot
So
of
you put on weight.
Bodies were violated will often put on weight so that they feel like it's a form of protection. So that's something to look at too.
Yeah.
It is interesting that she says it's the first time they didn't sleep in the same bed together. That's interesting.
To try to appear
like, what 24-year-old wants to be like? When my friends slept over, we always slept in the same bed, but I mean, for all intents and purposes, I had my own bed. You know what I mean? Like I get sleepover friends sleeping, but I can't imagine sleep. And when I was little, I was terrified, and I would get up in the middle of the night and get into bed with my mom. But I can't imagine her forcing me to get in bed with her. Although at that age, I'd be like, okay,
right? No, absolutely not.
Basically to try to keep anybody that might be interested away. Hopefully this weight will cause them to just go away and not bother me, which is crazy because the thing that we're wanting, right, as humans is love and connection. But
card collection back
if
there.
you're overweight, obese, you're trying to push that away. You want it, but you're trying to push it away by becoming unattractive. So you're left alone. So I pick up on that with her not wanting, it's like closing herself off, not wanting to receive that love from basically
Yeah.
a partner. I don't know if there's
People
any.
don't realize that just a decade ago, and it was worse 2 decades ago and 3 decades ago, kids didn't have they people tend to believe the adults over the kid, like they're fabricating. I think maybe now more days with true crime, they're being more aware of it, or at least I hope they are. I don't know, but yeah, kids need to be listened to because they have a voice. I was of the generation, the seen and not heard, and I don't even think they wanted to see us generation. So you were too.
Yes, I was.
Any abuse with a partner per se, or if it was just true that she was
Teach Gen X.
basically the same thing that happened to Gypsy happened to Dee Dee, where her mother or stepmother had all these illnesses, quote unquote. So I don't know if that's true or not, but there's something happened to make her not want, subconsciously, not want to receive the love or open herself up to love. So I feel that it's an excellent book for anybody. So I recommend it. Yeah, and so I feel that just this facade of being nice and being friendly and like she likes the attention because she receives benefits, right? But I think that it got to a point where maybe it was too much. And so that's I think what I'm picking up on is like, all right, I don't want to. Maybe it was more widespread than she thought at first. Is what I'm trying to say. Because again, there's just this point of it's too much. I really want to be here. I just want to be at home, relaxing, doing what I have to do. That's it for that one. And this last one here, the eyes are much different than her previous pictures. Like so much so that I can't even read into them. Yeah, I can't pick anything up, which is interesting. I thought that I'm surprised because I thought that obviously if you're subjecting your daughter to this life, I didn't expect to pick up on her, I guess, just being over it, not wanting to
Oh,
continue
that
or not wanting to be out in public that much. I thought that she would have like loved that. But I don't know. It's in that last picture, that's what I picked up. And then in this picture, honestly, I can't feel anything, which I think is a first for me. I think what just came to me, and not from this picture, but just her energy, is that, when you're afraid to love or receive love, you're afraid of being hurt. You're afraid of maybe losing that love. So I feel like because of her fears, maybe due to her past traumas, Dee Dee needed to place herself as in control of the relationship between her and her daughter. She needed to be in control, and she needed her daughter to depend on her. That way, she would never lose that child's love. That way, she would set herself up to always be needed in this dynamic, which is what a lot of people who are afraid of love and opening themselves up do. They try to take control. They try to emotionally manipulate so that they basically they don't get hurt. So that's what I'm picking up on. Let me then see.
I have a lot more
Interesting.
respect for this reader than
I do too.
the last two. I'm glad that you saved this one for last.
Just see if it's in.
It feels more connected somehow.
Mhm.
Okay, Dee Dee, what do you want to communicate? Again, I feel the rigidity, like the just
Ooh, the Emperor.
I need to be in control. I need to. I think this is Dee Dee with this Emperor card here. This is Dee Dee and her rigidity, her my way or the highway. This is because I need to set myself up to basically not lose this love for my daughter. Three of Pentacles, learning. The Nine of Pentacles, patience. The Three of Cups, joy, celebration.
Oh.
I almost feel like Dee Dee saying, I needed to learn to have patience and how to be happy, how to be joyful, how to properly receive, love and affection from others, how to have some sort of community that I can go to, not really depend on, but that I can go to, some sort of sisterhood or some sort of support group, support system. Those are things that she needed to learn, is what I feel like she's saying.
Is that the High Priestess is underneath the Emperor?
The High Priestess and the Six of Swords here. Let me push these up. I feel like Dee Dee's saying I ran away from any sort of religious or any sort of religious ideologies, theologies. Like basically, if it was involving church or something, like she just didn't allow herself to open up to that. She's like running away from it. Any sort of higher beliefs, higher powers, anything like that. She didn't allow herself to
It
kind of.
did also show that she ran away after Katrina from everybody and isolated them. She did do that.
Oh, yeah.
She didn't allow herself to go there.
Oh, death
And
is at
so
the end. Rebirth
without
is-
that belief system, her faith, like there is no faith, is what I'm saying. And because of that, she felt very. It's almost like I feel I'm alone, trying to figure out the world with nobody to have my back. I don't know if this death card is. I'm gonna pull out one more card. I don't know if this death card here is like the people that I think would have had my back are dead, or maybe she had grandparents or something like that that she kind of preferred to be around, that felt she had support from that, are no longer there. That that's why she feels that. Let me pull out one more card.
True. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I just feel like she distanced herself from any sort of religious anything. So because she felt like that, it's like I'm stuck. I don't know the way forward. I'm not moving in the direction that I want to go in. With this 5 of Wands, I almost feel like that's internal conflicts, but that's also as she became more set in her beliefs, things aren't working out for me. I'm alone. I'm not moving. I'm not in the place where I want to be at. That caused her to be, again, it caused her to have internal strife, but also with those closest to her. So I would assume her daughter. So maybe when Gypsy started to grow up, Dee Dee became more, maybe not so much abusive or violent, although that is definitely, I feel that, but just more picking fights, wanting to argue, wanting to be a little bit more combative. Was she abusive? I think so. Abusive, I mean, like, obviously there's abuse here, but I mean like physical. Which I would assume most people in this situation would kind of think like, if I'm bringing her around medical professionals all the time, it just wouldn't make sense to be physically abusive in case, they find bruises and stuff. But I still do feel like I pick up on physical abuse. So that's interesting too. Okay. So King of Wands reverse. And then dissatisfaction here. I'm not where I want to be, so I'm unhappy. I don't know if this is like a love lost from a person that she was romantically connected to. It kind of feels like
Rod.
that. And then this
It's probably
dissatisfaction
Rod.
is from this relationship or this person that she, wasn't
Rod.
it wasn't reciprocated the love or something along
Rod.
those lines, but it's also dissatisfaction in life in general.
Yeah.
I think it was Rod. She really wanted Rod to want her over Christy. It was a triangle.
I feel like this is Gypsy Rose's father. I feel like
see, Rod.
Yeah.
like he broke it up with Dee Dee, but it seems like with her fears and everything, and the fact that maybe she was in love with Gypsy's father, and it seems like he broke it off. She felt very alone, and she felt like, I feel like this is where I feel the spark, the idea of basically to do what she did to her daughter, because it's like, okay, I have to do this world alone, and it's like this idea, this spark. Okay, her fears were so strong that I feel like she wasn't even aware at the time that that's where it came from. This fear of opening herself up to love, receiving the love, not feeling like she can get through this breakup here with Gypsy Rose's father. It's almost like she said to herself, like, no more, never again. I'm never going to be hurt like this again. And it seems that that's where all this came from. I don't even think this was clear to her at that point. The back and forth. What was she back and forth on? And then just being super defensive and
never
kind of it's me
late.
against the world sort of mentality. I think she felt like there would be like a reconciliation with Gypsy Rose's father. And then there's this internal kind of battle that I'm feeling like, I can do this on my own, especially with a daughter, versus hell no, I can't.
You can
I hate
contact
everybody.
me
I'm
over
fine.
on email,
It's like
Cindy,
this
or
battle,
on
this
Facebook.
back and forth, almost like a bipolar sort of situation. Was she bipolar?
Definitely. Cindy, you can contact me over on Facebook. That's no problem. Ooh.
I don't feel like she wanted the child. That's sad. But the Queen of Wands is just that, I don't know, this idea that just came through. And kind of, it's funny because I was feeling earlier, like I said, that, people who are scared to receive love and basically afraid to be vulnerable because they're afraid of losing that love try to either be needed or set themselves up in that other person's life to where they're in control emotionally by basically manipulating. So it's funny, not funny, but it's funny that I would pick that up. But then in the same token, I feel here like this isn't what I want. This is not what I want. This pregnancy is not what I want. I want to rid myself of it. I don't want it. Especially if she thought that she would have to go through it alone. Which I don't know if Gypsy Rose's father was just adamant from the beginning saying he didn't want to be a part of Gypsy Rose's life, or if Dee Dee pushed him away and was like, no.
We found out that Gypsy's father was pretty busy because he got 2 women pregnant at the same time. So Dee Dee and Gypsy's sister Nicolette, she was pregnant with them at the same time, and then soon after that, Christy got pregnant with the brother Dylan. It was crazy.
I don't want you anywhere around her. We're good. So it's interesting, but I can definitely feel here she did not want this baby. It wasn't planned. It wasn't a planned pregnancy. Let me see what else.
Well, that shocks me. I thought maybe she got pregnant to keep Rod, because then they got married.
me just pull out one more row.
He was arrested the night of their wedding.
Karma.
She was?
So we
For
heard that
what?
Gypsy Rose and Dee Dee had some sort
Rod
of
was
karmic.
arrested for, it was either the night before or the night of, for alcohol and fighting, I think.
Oh dear.
Alcohol plays a huge part in this case, I think. It's reported that they drink quite a bit
Mm.
at Blanchards. So
Contract to where maybe the roles were reversed, and so that needed to play out in this lifetime.
that could have been a reason why Dee Dee distanced herself too, because Dee Dee didn't strike me as anyone that took any kind of like alcohol, or I know she was prescribed pain meds, but she had her foot almost cut off, so she needed them for a period of time.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah. So, but maybe she moved because she didn't want to be around it.
Or if that's just what needs or what will be happening next lifetime together. I don't know. But this tells me the pregnancy, that situation, it wasn't planned. So here she is picking up the burden alone, burden of maybe not the pregnancy. I feel maybe just
Oh yeah, definitely.
Just motherhood, just having a child, doing it by yourself. I feel that here.
But it's in reverse.
Yeah.
I feel like there's sadness, there's almost resentment because Dee Dee feels like I didn't even have a childhood. And here you are. It's almost like, yeah, like that resentment, like, oh, here you are, you're gonna get all this, you're gonna get the childhood that I never got to experience. Like, who the hell are you? And just not being able to see the situation from any other point of view than she had. So she didn't, basically, if she knew that if she was emotionally intelligent enough to know that maybe these feelings, how she was feeling towards her daughter, weren't supposed to be happening, normal to feel, by not going and getting, any help or anything like that, not having a sisterhood or not having any community where she can go to for support. This here tells me she was not able to see the entirety of the situation. She was not able to see maybe the extent, the gravitude, the gravity of her, mentality and her tactics. It's funny that the devil's here reversed. Usually the devil is that card was expected, but in the normal upright position. Or maybe it's this is just saying, this will be resolved karmically, contractually between those two.
I think it is.
Or maybe, it's she paid off debts spiritually. It was supposed to happen. How it did. Again, the breaking up of the relationship, lots of pain with Gypsy Rose's father, carrying the burden by herself, not having a happy childhood, feeling like that she feels like she deserved. So just being upset, angry at Gypsy Rose. Okay.
I mean, she was.
And Dee Dee, I just want to ask you to come through and let me know how you're doing now. Where are you energetically now? My actions, it wasn't what I wanted to happen. There were a lot of lessons learned. It wasn't how I wanted to be.
Ooh, the Queen of
I
Pentacles.
allowed
She's getting
fears.
paid.
I allowed the negativity to basically win the battle. I realized that it caused me to have a lot of enemies, a lot of people that didn't like me for my actions, for what I did. I feel like there's been a long period of healing all of that emotional turmoil.
I do too.
I've been in the spiritual realm. And so I feel like she's saying that's what I've been doing, is just healing. I feel Dee Dee saying, I'm still with her. I'm still with Gypsy. I'm still around her, helping her in spirit. Let her know that I'm fine. Let her know that I forgive her. If ever she needs to speak to me, I'm there.
It's reported Gypsy won't even talk about her mom, and she gets mad when people do.
Interesting that I shuffled and some of the same cards are still coming out.
It is very interesting. And the same direction.
Yeah,
cards will do what they'll do.
Yeah.
I've overcome a lot of that emotional turmoil that was going on within me. I've just been focused on energetically rebuilding myself, healing, getting myself to a point where I'm not in that low place. And basically now it's like I'm assisting where I'm needed in the spiritual realm. And again, I'm getting that very loud and clear. I needed to pay that debt. I needed to pay that.
Huh.
My spirit needed to go through that to learn the lessons that I've learned. Any final words, Dee Dee? Interesting. Just so interesting that I shuffled. Y'all saw me. Did you see me shuffle? And these cards are still coming out.
I hate getting the Tower card.
Any final words? I feel like for some reason I want to say, let love flow. That is what she's saying. Let love flow. I didn't do it. And that would be my advice to all of you, is let love flow. Don't restrict it. Don't stop it. Don't be afraid of it. I was focused on running away from it, is what she's saying. And that kept me stuck in unhealthy patterns. And it basically doesn't end well when you're on earth. It doesn't end well. Not that you're going to get murdered if you decide to live like that or do that. It's just, it doesn't end well for your spirit. It doesn't feel good because it's not essentially who you are. So don't fear. I feel is what she's saying. Don't fear, let love in, balance, because your fears basically hold you back and don't allow you to see where you need to go or grow, where you need to be planted or rooted or yeah, I think that's all I have. This is a long one, so
Amen
hope
to
you enjoyed
that,
that. If you have any,
sister. Okay, what do you think about this, Shannon? Oh
About
yeah,
the readers
that
that we've watched today, or what they've said.
either or both.
No. Um, I think that last one was pretty accurate. The things that she said made sense. And it made sense, like when you think about the what happened on the case in the whole story. Um, so I really like how it like all ties back to the dad.
Yeah, like there was this huge love triangle that they try to downplay, but and even in the videos, the way that she would place her hand on Rod and Christy would be taking the photo, or it was strange.
Hmm.
Like if they weren't like, I almost sometimes think, was it Polly? Were they doing stuff together? What was happening? Why was
Oh,
that going on? You know what I mean? Like that's
yeah,
has popped into my mind a few times.
it's possible. And I liked what she said about how she didn't didn't want to have the child. And I don't think that it's just that she didn't want to have the child. I think she just expected it to happen in a different way with a loving and supportive partner.
Yeah. I think many people thought she got pregnant on purpose, so maybe she didn't.
Yeah.
Maybe it was an
Mm.
accident and she just really didn't want it to happen. Or also, Rod was supposed to be like broke up. They were on a break. They got two people pregnant on the break, but they were on a break.
Yeah, but
And
were
then,
they? Were they really
yeah,
on a break?
yeah, were they? That's my question too. Were they swingers? Yes, that's the word that I was reaching for. But it's also called poly. Like I think they might have had like relationships, and then babies were being born, and they were siblings, and for all intents and purposes, Christy was a stepmother, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know. They'll probably be offended by even us mentioning that.
I don't care.
I don't care either. I I I can't make everybody happy, and that's what I'm learning. I want to make everybody happy. My nature is to want everyone to be happy, but I'm learning that I can't do that because it doesn't matter. I can be the juiciest peach, and some people don't like peaches. So that's just the reality of the situation for me. And
Hmm.
I mean, yeah.
Well, and we're both women of a certain age, and
Mhm.
women of a certain age tend to don't give a damn anymore.
Yeah, we're over the bullshit. I'm so tired of the bullshit. Like I am like at that point where I am tired. I am tired. I am tired and I'm getting real. Like I
Yes,
only have probably like 30, 40 years if I'm going to live to old age. And that's jarring when you think about it because time goes by so fast.
it
And
does.
yeah, I'm tired. The microdosing is really helping me with opening up and not being so afraid. Like I got because of the domestic and the post traumatic stress, I just was afraid all the time, like afraid to breathe, afraid to pass gas, afraid, and I'm coming out of that fear and I'm also discarding other people's opinions of me. I'm trying to like take that coat off because it's too hot and I don't too constricting and I don't want to wear it anymore.
Good for you. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. I struggle with it. So, but being
Yeah,
in the public eye is really hard. It's always been really hard because I've been made fun of. And when you've been made fun of, that does something to you. It really does.
you've you've been made fun of.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been made fun of. And like growing up when my mom remarried, I like was taken from all my friends and junior high. I was just, whew, it's like
Oh,
kind of come to the surface. Like I've never really let it go.
yeah, and it's hard to start over at that point in your life on the
Yeah.
social ladder.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's hard. It's hard. So, and it's hard to get those words, like, because it's like it's just as you're becoming an adult, like not even adult, but you're growing into your body and you're trying to find your sense of self. and you're not being given to at home, and nobody's like reinforcing anything other than like the discomfort you're feeling around school. And yeah, it was just really bad, and nobody asked. And yeah,
Yeah. Nope. I hear you. I hear you. I was there too, so I understand completely. Oh,
I guess I'm
sweetie.
just now letting myself shed it. I've been carrying it for so long in this microdosing. I didn't expect all of this. Like, I wanted it to help, and I know it's helping, but it's just stirring up a lot of shit. But
Mhm.
I guess I need to release it, so it's good. And it's embarrassing at the same time. But how many people have been bullied in their life? I think a lot.
Oh gosh,
And
yeah.
being able to say that, at 50, you're still feeling it. So
hmm
yeah,
Oh
if
yeah,
you
I
were
was still
bullied,
bullied. I was bullied a lot. And
yeah,
and then today as an adult, some of those bullies are friending
talking
me on
about,
Facebook, and I'm like, you
yeah,
never
that's
had a
hard
kind
too.
word to say to me. You tormented me. And
Yeah.
you want to friend me on Facebook?
Do they remind? I wonder, like, do they know the pain? Like, I just remember walking around thinking, I just wish for one day they could feel the pain they're putting inside of me. I just
Yeah.
wish they could feel it back.
Yeah.
But maybe they do in the long run. I don't
A
know.
lot of times they have a different pain and their actions stem from that other pain.
Yeah, I know it comes from the pain.
It doesn't make
It's
it right.
yeah. Anyway, sorry about that, you guys. There's just a lot of my emotions and shit on the surface right now.
Yeah.
I hope everyone will
Maybe
do it.
the microdosing is helping you learn, maybe start to deal with those things.
It is. It's helping me deal with them, and it's helping me deal in a way that, like, in the past, I couldn't even look at it without feeling the thoughts. Like I bought the narrative. I bought their narrative, and now I'm walking around thinking, because for my whole life I thought I was a horrible person, like a failure and like a fraud, and like just this thought came to me like I deserve happiness. I
You
deserve it
do.
just as much as anybody else, and it's so weird to think that, like, this whole time I didn't believe I deserved it. Like, if I had known I deserved it back then, like, if I deserved happiness, what would my life be like now? But then I can't go down that road either because it is what it
Too.
is, and I'm in this unique opportunity where I can rebuild my life any way I want, like, any way I want. I don't have those restrictions of the family that, like, the people. It just yeah, so I can build my own family, my own community, and I'm filling it with the beautiful people that come here. And I just have to tell you that, like, my community and the community that we're building, it just is amazing. It's like I picked up where I stopped, and there's like just tons and tons of more people flooding in, and I just feel so lucky and blessed that this is happening.
You
So
have created a wonderful community here, Amy. I'm just amazed to come in, after years of not being in contact with you, to come back and to see you just thriving in this community. You've done a wonderful job.
yeah, but I couldn't have done it without Heavenly and Christy. I have like two of the best
Mhm.
wrenches, and they keep my chat going, and it just helps me. I couldn't do what I would do without them, and I know that. So, and I couldn't do it without you, and I couldn't do it without like the people that come into chat. And yeah, I just feel really lucky,
Well,
and I
Christy and
haven't ever
Heavenly,
really felt lucky.
no, Christy and Heavenly, thank you for taking care of my girl. Your
Yeah,
angels.
they're good people. Okay, well, I didn't expect myself to do that, but it is what it is, right?
Yeah, it is. I think you've touched other people tonight. So a little bit of
I hope
the pain that you went through tonight, I think it helped others.
I hope so, because I feel like that's what I come here on earth to do, is to help others. And it's
Yeah.
all I really wanted to do. And I hope I'm doing it. It kind of takes my breath away, because when you finally realize why you're here, it's kind of breathtaking.
I love you, Amy.
I love you too. Okay, so I think that's all we have tonight, you guys.
thank you all for being here. Thank you for being here, Shannon. I'm glad your kitty cat woke you up.
Yes, I am too. Thank you, Eartha. And now she's, yeah, she says you're welcome.
Okay, well, we will see you next week. Thank you for being here, Shannon.
Yes, you're welcome, Amy. See you next week.
Okay,
Bye.
bye. Okay, guys, I think that's all we have. Well, I know that's all we have for tonight. Thank you for being here. I hope I'm going to be able to say this without crying. You guys mean a lot to me, and you've helped me out tremendously. And if nobody's told you this today, even if they have, I'm telling you this. I love you guys so, so much. And I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
I will blow a kiss to you, and I will whisper to the moon and to the stars and the clouds, and you'll